Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good? About to get started here in a few minutes. Should be able to hear me. Mic check, mic check. Let me know if you guys can hear me good. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's everybody saying tonight? It's been a long week. Got to get a haircut. Got to shave my beard a bit. About to get started here in a couple of minutes. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear me good, loud and clear. Gonna turn the screen on, go over some charts, answer some questions. If you guys got any questions, type in the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. What is up, everyone? All clear, all good, dope. Making sure. It's been a long, busy week. Long, busy week. I've been recording a lot of stuff the last couple of days. Sleep schedule is off here. I'll show you guys what we've been cooking. But we're gonna go to the charts. Market's moving, gold's been moving, crypto's been moving. A lot of action. How's everybody's week been so far? Just finished a killer workout, so there we go. Yeah, I just got done. Pretty insane workout. Well, it was a regular workout. It was good. It was good. It was a good workout. Hard workout. Just got done a hard, good workout. So we're gonna go over some charts here in a minute. Been working out a lot of stuff. For those of you guys inside of my inner circle, there's a lot of videos uploaded recently. We'll go over gold in a minute. Type in the chat what you guys want to talk about tonight. Anything you guys want me to go over specifically. Any questions you guys got tonight, type them in the chat. Type them in the chat. I'll go over what I'm going to go over for a little bit. Don't know how long we'll be on tonight. But any questions you guys got? Any context you can bring to the table here? Let's see what you guys got in the chat. We've been cooking a lot of stuff here for the inner circle. Those of you guys that are in the inner circle, check out the classroom. I mean, some of you guys maybe haven't been through all the videos yet, but more videos have been added. And you're going to see in the next couple of days more videos added as well. But if you check out the advanced section, a good amount of videos were added there this week. So go check those out. If you haven't been through like the basic, intermediate already, added different sections for you guys as well, where I'm going to be pretty much filling up like the basics are. You can see the basic section's pretty filled up right now. Intermediate. So soon you guys are going to have a good amount of content to watch. Take your time, because all of these topics are things you can study, okay? There's going to be more videos, like I said, every few months. I like to add videos to my inner circle. Maybe every 3-4 months, every couple months or so. So those of you guys that are already locked in are getting the content that's here now. Take advantage of the content. Study it, okay? Those of you guys who are locked in, have lifetime access. There's a lot of topics, terminologies, especially in the crypto course, that you're going to want to even look into and study yourself as well. because there's going to be more videos on every topic, let's say. So in the crypto course, you're going to notice a lot of information. That's a lot of the information you guys are going to want to study and become common with, you know, naturally understand. Now we're going to go over the charts in a minute. Anything you guys want me to go over tonight, drop in the chat. There's some news. There's been a lot of news. There's always news. So in the there's masterclass section, added gold and Forex. There's going to be some gold and Forex videos. Just added that section there. Advanced section, good amount of videos. Trade recaps, crypto course. This is being uploaded as we speak. And there's going to be more videos added. Pretty much, and what day is it? Next, yeah, like the next 24 hours, 48 hours, you'll see more videos added to this. Recorded a good amount of videos in the last 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours. So one by one, they're all going to be kind of getting uploaded there, and you guys will see more. So check it out if you're in there. There's a lot of value, a lot of information, a lot of key topics that you can study. A lot of step-by-step lessons coming as well. Pretty much all this week, you'll see the videos being uploaded as you kind of been. If you're in there, you've probably seen already, right? I've been keeping you guys updated in Discord a little bit. That's why I wasn't on this morning. Got no sleep. Sleep schedule was a little off from just like recording, and then going. So you guys will see. We got different sections coming soon as well. I'm gonna upload some key live sessions, key live sessions as well. Check it out if you're in there. We have over right now, 342 people in there. There's been a lot of good results. Hopefully you guys have been watching the videos, getting value. There's a lot of time. You guys that are in there have some time to get busy, because there is more videos coming, and some of them are longer than others. Crypto's been moving. Gold's been moving. Went over gold at the beginning of the week for buys. I was talking about maybe buys at the beginning of the week, that low. That would have been a good setup to catch. Gold's been respecting those quarters pretty nicely. 3,300's been holding. You can see it pushed up 33.25. It broke above the 33.25. 33.25 holding, and then, you know, it came close to 33.50. Had some rejection, 33.50. So you're looking at like some good trade, like I was explaining last night. Any of like the good buys have come around some of the quarters. You can see like last week it would have been 33.50 buys. This week 3,300 or a bit lower. 33.25. Market held that area nice on the 4 hour. This candlestick right here. There's this candlestick right here on the 4 hour that the market held. You can see to the left. I went over this last night. I did go over the context, the market structure of this. If you go study last night's session, for anyone in the inner circle, there's like 70 live sessions we've done there that are like, most of them like 2 hours long, where we talk about analysis, a lot of different stuff. You guys go kind of look at last night's session, 71. There's 71 sessions there last night. I broke it down. If you go look at what I said, there's some things I said last night that you can look at the market now. There's 71 sessions here that you guys have asked. Some of these sessions are like 2 hours long, most of them. Last night we went live. Last time I spoke to you guys, right? And you know, I was talking about the context of the market with gold in that 4 hour low throughout the session last night. In the early bit, like we analyzed gold in the beginning, and I was saying like that 4 hour low. If you go study parts where I was running gold down, was talking about that 4-hour low in relation to like this low here last night. So there was a few things that broke down last night on the chart involving the candles, price action, how I like to look at the charts basically, from a 4-hour perspective. I like to get on the charts, look at the daily, 4-hour, 1 hour. It's kind of like a weekly mental game. I don't know if you guys seen that video yet. I think it's in the advanced section or masterclass section. It's called, and I'm gonna make it like 2 more like that one. Let me see if I can find it. There's a lot of videos. It might be in masterclass, right? That's psychology. Yeah, it's in other section. This one, gold trading mindset blueprint weekly mental game, 4-hour, daily, 1 hour, right? If you're just framing your setups off of the 4-hour, like, I mean, you only have to look at the chart so many times to get that framework of like, okay, this should stick until it's proven not. Last night I was talking about the 4-hour low here. I'm looking at price action, like I'm not always looking at like indicators, patterns, concepts and stuff. Like a lot of times looking at the price action of the market, the candles, the market structure. So you could see, for example, here, like here you have a nice push up from this low to create this high, and you come down, create a higher high. So how I'm looking at this is like, you know, it's in an angle where it could hold that low, like it could go up, it could potentially push up, right? That's what it was showing me yesterday. I was talking about this yesterday, right? I was saying, like, if you look at the market structure, this is why even watching, like, for those of you guys that I do, because those of you guys that have access to these sessions, I do a lot of them. There's things I'll go over, like a night session that could still play out and be like, you know, part of how we can still view price moving forward. It's not always like jump on the chart, something new. If you look at last night, we were on 24 hours ago, right? Those of you guys that were here. Anyone was here last night? Anyone was here? Let me see the chat. I'm gonna keep an eye on that chat. Like I said, chat. I don't know how long we're gonna be on tonight. If you guys got any questions, type them in the chat. Don't be shy. If you guys got anything you want to go over, there's some news. There's some breaking news apparently. Like if you look at this, go look at this, go look at this. I saw some of you guys were posting about this. Something's going on. Some of you guys are keeping up with the news. I see it. I see it in the chats. I see it in the chats. Some of you guys are keeping up with the news. On it. On it. Yeah. I see it. Makes me proud. I mean, damn, some crazy news here. Look at this. Read this. Israel poised to launch operation. What's that? CBS News? CNN? Yeah. CBS. Trump tells, I'm going to say that to end this. Stop threats. Israel has largest share of Trump's. Okay. I saw something like this circulating the fan. I saw that posted in the Discord. Some of you guys are talking about it. Keeping up with the news. There's a lot of news on. If you look at like headlines lately, I saw one post, a bunch of posts. People be posting like a bunch of headlines. Let's see. Crypto. Most stuff I look at a lot of times is related to crypto. Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain. 60% of Fortune 500 companies working on the blockchain projects. U.S. and China conclude trade talks in London. Trade talks, Bitcoin talks. There's a lot of news on everything, like usual. Looking at my phone right now. Gold pushed up. You can see 3,300 holding. Voice crack there. Damn, son. Some stuff going on. Stuff circulating. Pay attention to the news. It's good to keep up on the news. Those of you guys in my inner circle, I've made some videos on that as well, especially with crypto. Look at the headlines. Headlines today. Gold pushing up. Maybe some uncertainty. Just demand. I mean, there was, if you look at last night and look at the structure. it's a good study lesson. I think like last night, if any of you guys go rewatch the parts where I was like analyzing gold. The other stuff I recorded, it's in the crypto sections. The whole like crypto stuff I went over is recorded, posted for you guys already. There's some stuff I talked about with gold. Like I even said this. I even said if you're looking for sells, you might get a sell down off of that high, or a rate above the high, a move down. There's different ways you can look at the market. If you go look at last night's session, I put a few different perspectives for you guys. Like if you come up 33.50, you might come down. This last night's session, if you take a look at it and kind of move forward, you can learn some things, I think. I mean, every session, like some of the sessions are 2-3 hours long, and I go over a lot of crypto stuff, information, trade talks, gold. Most of it's live analysis through the week on gold. There's parts where I was analyzing gold and kind of showing like the different views of it. Like, okay, if price does this, because like it's like kind of like a conditional way of thinking in trading. If A happens, maybe I can do B, or if B happens, maybe I'll do this. If A doesn't happen, there's a video on my YouTube channel about this type of way of thinking, conditional thinking. Actually, if you go on my YouTube channel, you can find a video called Conditional Thinking. So it's like you can view, if once you get more experience of the chart, you understand market structure, you can view the chart from like, okay, if this happens, I can have some sells. Doesn't mean you have to be completely bearish. You might just catch that sell. But there's a few things I was saying last night. You can run the session down and kind of see and look back and be like, oh, maybe make more sense of why I was looking at the price the way I was last night. Might make sense, right? I think last night would be like a good thing to go back on and take some notes if you have access to that session. Like for those of you guys in Inner Circle. I was even saying you got to kind of take things for how they are in the moment. Like this looks like how it looks. I just heard myself saying that, right? Go watch that. I broke it down like, damn, yeah. Like I was breaking down gold pretty much like the first 40 minutes of the session. Oh no, like 50 minutes? No, damn, hour? Yeah, like the first, yeah, like literally the first hour of the session, I was breaking down gold, and there's a lot there that I went over. So I said, some of you guys might have noticed, I wrote it in the Discord. Go rewatch last night's session. I'm even looking at it right now. I'm like, damn, like, come on. Like, if you look at what price did after, and you kind of time things too. Now we're above 33.50, pushing to like 33.75. We're seeing like these headlines hit the fan. Israel is poised to launch operation on Iran, sources say by CBS, CNN, this, that, Trump news. Pushing up 35, what's all-time highs is up here, 3,500, 3,400s, close to 3,400 once again. It's Wednesday night going to Thursday. Like if we look here, a little rejection here at this candlestick. Up here is like the next level where price could try to go to if it is able to like flip this area. If you're just going to remain bullish, you could maybe even wait for see if price comes back to like 33.50 or lower. If you're looking for like buys, we're above 33.50. It just tapped like 33.75. Quarter level, quarter point. Could have some like rejection here since it is also a higher high in structure. If dollar has weakness, then maybe there's more like if the dollar has weakness right now, and it's been having weakness, so you've seen inverse on gold come in. If dollar weakness continues, gold would stay more holding in control. If dollar weakness continues, it's typically in a situation like this where you're in a higher high and you've pushed up like this. You're in also a supply zone here. When you've pushed up like this, we can see dollars pushed down. So understanding if dollar is to pull back, gold is more likely then to come down, retrace back to 33.50. If dollar weakness remains, then gold would stay more in control up here, would hold itself up more, right? And it would try to get above here. If dollar weakness remains, and you see the dollar's weak, gold would probably hold itself up more, be more in demand, like in a holding pattern. It would then try to probably get above here, go down now. If dollar retraces, pulls back, you're gonna then see like gold's in a place where you could watch for potential retracements down to like 33.50. Right, we're in a place right now where market has pushed up higher high. It's broken out these highs here, 33.50 key psychological level. So potentially, like if a bearish move is gonna come in, it could take us down to like back to these highs or even lower. Like there is a trend line coming up there, but more like internally here. And you're looking at this candle that pushed price up. There could be a retracement before, if you're looking for a big move up or another continuation, before a continuation up. If your bias is bullish, if your bias is bullish, if your bias is bullish, you have to watch, the dollar, see if dollar weakness continues, and see if price holds here. Like it could try to break above, retest, like continue above here. And that would give you maybe more of a continuation type of play. Also, if you're bullish, you could just wait and watch price, see where it's at even like tomorrow. If it comes back to 33.50, start watching. 33.50 could be a level to start keeping an eye on it. And wait for it to move down there. See what happens when we get near 33.50 or lower. Come back to 33.50. Bearish, you could have rejection 33.75. You could possibly have, say, a move down to 33.50 or even lower. So you do have like, if you get rejection here, I'm seeing this, so obviously this creates uncertainty and headlines and news that affects gold. Like this type of stuff, headlines, news like this affects gold dramatically, influentially, depending on how dramatic the news is also, but it's influential to gold's movement and price action. I gotta close the window, it's getting late. Summertime's coming. Little bugs. Fucking hate bugs. Yeah, like stuff like this is gonna influence gold, impact gold. And we gotta keep an eye on this type of stuff. Like obviously bearish could be one way to go. If price breaks up, dollar weakness, you see more demand, like you have maybe a break and retest above that zone, that like supply zone. Entered a zone of supply here on the 1 hour. You can see that blue candle right there before this huge sell-off takes us down to the low, breaks up, we trade right into that low. You have a nice rejection right off of this low here, right? Structure shift. I even like the only thing I really like looking for good setups. You don't need a lot in the week. For those of you guys in inner circle, I was saying like coming into the week, distractions. There's a little fly in here, little one. I was talking about June 9th. Been recording all week, so wasn't as much on the charts, but when I hopped on, saw this right, the low. Now that's the 1 hour low, so that's this low. Wrong one. It's not letting me load up the second one. Oh, I'm clicking on the same. Am I clicking on the same one over and over again? I am clicking on the same one over and over again. There you go. You got that low there in structure at 3,300, right? Price pushes up, creates this high, right? This is honestly only setup that I caught this week and closed super early. Well, it made the move, So it was good for me. Like, it made the move I wanted, right? It went farther beyond that. So like after I got out, this thing just kept going, going, going. And I was like, damn, it is what it is. It made the move, plan your trade your plan, but it didn't get to 3,300. It almost hit 3,300. But looking forward, you guys can see like the idea and the concept of things, like why I look for things the way I do. This low, price pushes up, we trade underneath this low as well, right here. So if you were to take a fib there, oh, there's a fly. Retracement, probably 50% there. Goes underneath that. It's coming back right into this candlestick. All right. So that was pretty much one thing other than last night, right? And then right off that candle, nice reaction. It made the move up to 25. And then this thing went beyond. It actually took out the high, right? So this is a nice play to even consider taking out the high. I went over this in the live analysis session the other night on June 9th, 2 nights ago. Maybe there's two flies. So I flicked that thing. That was down here, this low. So that was this low, right here. So you can see the low. Price pushes up, comes back into the low, trades higher. It makes a higher high, right? Here. And then where do we come? We come back into that more internally here, right? We're still retracing. We're coming back. The move starts here to go up and create a high. And the market comes back into that, right? If you go back on last night's session now, you can see why I was analyzing things the way I was last night. Bro, this fly. Right? Last night, I was saying, we could continue off of that candle now. Look at the structure I'm drawing, right? There's some good lessons in there, right? There's some good lessons in that session last night. Continuations. You can see pumps to make higher highs, retracements back internally, continues up, takes out the highs, continues, right? Look where we're playing off of as well, right? You're playing off of the lows. Demand. Go watch the demand video. Go watch the supply and demand zone videos that I just uploaded as well. I just uploaded some videos talking about that as well. So ties into some of the things that I've been doing even some lessons on and uploading videos on as well. Damn, this little guy is... So yeah, as I said, dollar index has been bearish. This little fly is, has been bearish. If it does a significant retracement, then maybe gold rejects down. Otherwise, continuation would be up, down, or just waiting for a retracement. Let me know if you guys got any questions in the chat. I'm going to close some of these charts. Now you guys can see why I was looking for buys around 3,300 or, lower 3,300s this week. You look at the price action and you start at 3,300 down here and you go 3,325. There's videos of this even all over my YouTube channel. I've done a lot of live streams talking about this with you guys. I think unless you're new to trading or maybe you're at the basics level, stuff might be not as familiar, but for a lot of you guys, this should be super familiar now. If you're new, keep studying, watch some videos, plug in when I go live, keep your notifications on, subscribe to the channel here. Study tonight. So I'm going to look at the questions. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions in a bit. Where to check news for gold besides Forex Factory? Twitter, CNN, even just YouTube Live, CNN, ABC, Fox News Live, watching. They broadcast a lot of ongoing things, Bloomberg. So good question. You can when I'm kind of at my station. So what I like to do, so let's say it's morning time, 7, 8, 9 in the morning, and I'm on the charts and I'm going to be on the charts. I have a TV here. It's a big screen TV. I'll have YouTube on or the news playing, something like Bloomberg on. Oh man, what is going on in here? We're gonna get this fucking fly. There might be a few in here. I left the window open. It's bad to leave the window open. Here in the summer, live high up building, so it's bad. They like to go up. They like to go up. The windows, these little buggers. Little buggers. See if I can get some light here. Oh, that will probably bring them more to me. The white light too, as well. Damn. So when I'm on my charts and daily through the day, like the one thing that I literally have like playing all the time is like Bloomberg Television or what is that one, like I think CNBC or like even Fox News. Like if you're on live, like there's a lot of broadcasts, like Bloomberg Television's a big one, global news, like stuff like this I'll literally have playing on my TV as it's like airing and stuff through the day, so I can just kind of like hear. I'm not even watching it. I'm just like, it's just playing in the background and I'm listening. Anyone who's spent time with me has seen it literally. Like I'll literally just play it all day. It'll be on the TV, or I'll have it here, or I'll have one there, a different one here. A lot of times these main things like Bloomberg Television broadcasting live things at different times, like they have a schedule too where they start all their things and talk about things.
That is always a risk.
So even when Powell's speaking or Trump speaking, like they'll broadcast this, or when you're seeing like speeches, Fox News, CNBC News, it's good to have like those playing in the background and stuff like that, because you can just hear. So that's one thing that I'm kind of always doing. That's just like there when I'm just literally at my desk. It could be quiet. One with the TV. When the TV's on, it's usually louder. I usually keep the TV louder, and then I'll have maybe something else playing here on maybe a different broadcast station as things are happening live. That's one way. That's one way. Bro, I gotta get it. A little bugger, man. Thing got me. Thing like I'm like. So stuff like that, broadcast stations, television stations on your TV, YouTube broadcasts a lot of them. It's good to have. In the background, so I'm usually not like listening to like the CNBC network. You'll see a lot of like money talks, interviews, stuff like that. People get interviewed on these things. So CNBC, you can watch like CNBC live streams on the CNBC network. They'll be on YouTube as well. They'll be talking stock markets, business, news, financials, earnings, stuff like that. Crypto too. Now you have Bloomberg Crypto as well. So if you want like gold, you ask gold, like news, like there's different headlines that hit the world, and these on like tariffs, China, all these trade deals that affect. Look at gold right now. We're on the 4 hour, right? Yeah, we're on the H4, 33.75. Almost got tapped there. Maybe some sells. Like if you might get a 4 hour. This candle 3 hours and 50 minutes. This candle just opened. So this candle you could watch if you're looking for sells. Like there is a clear path potentially down to give you that to 33.50. Watch this candle. This candle could potentially drop or give you a confirmation, like it could reject bearish, and you could potentially get that move down to 33.50. Not a bad trade setup. And if it does choose to go even lower, more internally here, maybe 33.50. Remember everything else I said. So that's one thing, like Bloomberg, keeping up with stuff like that. Like I follow a lot of Twitter accounts. I follow accounts on Twitter that usually are kind of posting like coverage of all things like finance, like this account. So some Twitter accounts that maybe you can follow if you have a Twitter account. I find Twitter is really good to kind of check through and scroll through the news and get quick headlines. So there's accounts like this one. There's a lot out there. Some are really big accounts like this one that will post headlines, even post articles. This account also has a website that they'll post post about these articles. So even following like things like this, having your notifications on, you can see literally a lot of news in the last, like if you're looking at just an account like this where you can get some headlines, some news that impacts the world, not necessarily just in relation to gold, like gold, but like this type of news can impact gold's price, stuff like that. Usually, like the things that really impacts its price dramatically is like when there's things that bring a lot of uncertainty, um, things that cause a lot of more panic to the market, or maybe chaos or crisis, conflict, right? We've seen a lot of that in the last couple of years. Like if you really study gold right now, and yeah, we're 37, 33.70, but all of us probably watching this stream, it's 2025, and think about it, 5 years ago, what happened 5 years ago? COVID. So COVID, I think everybody on the stream remembers that February, March time. Honestly, like it's crazy right now. Um, I can say I experienced something like that more than once now. COVID was the first time of me, because I was already years in the market beyond that. So years kind of, amateur, rookie, amateur, maturing, going through the process over time. Um, Maturing more with the idea of money as well, what money is, mindset, psychology, discipline, all that good stuff, right? The stuff that we love. So over time, it was like when COVID hit, that was the first time I like experienced like crazy conditions like that for any market that I was looking at: Forex, indices, gold, crypto, especially. Um, this past couple months, needless to say, even for myself, especially with crypto, um, man, I can relate. The last couple of months, like how March and April were going, kind of into May, it was definitely something that it's like something we could say, needless to say, it was something that I haven't experienced before. But the only thing I can say, like I have but haven't, like the volatility was crazy. I can compare it to COVID, right? COVID-19, when everything crashed in the COVID market. Very similar, but this was pretty extreme. It was really fast these times too. I think it was a bit more unexpected too. Like both were unexpected. Yeah. So needless to say, nothing short of energy consuming. I couldn't get the words out for it really there. Needless to say, crazy times, right? Definitely like I would say March, April, going into May, were like, even still now we're seeing it ongoing, and it still continues. It still circulates because, it's like no one knows. Like I said, back in like March, April, going into May, no one knows what's going to happen a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. So there's still a lot of uncertainty in the world with all these tariffs and what's going on, what the policies, how things are going to change over the next couple of years. But COVID was a crisis, right? COVID was a global crisis, right? Pandemic, right? Everything was shut down. It was a disease, right? Or a virus, and that did that had the same effect to the market, right? Bitcoin, brutal times. It was deadly. It was deadly. Notice it was February, March, going into April. Those times. Maybe some of you guys on the stream were trading. Were any of you guys trading then in 2020? Type in the chat. Are you guys trading in 2020? Any of you guys investing, trading, holding anything like in cryptos, whatever? Are you guys trading those days? Let me know. Type in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. I want to see. It'd be cool to see, Because like it's it's something I can talk about from my experience and relate to what just happened in the last couple of months. I'm making some videos on it for you guys in the inner circle. We've talked a lot about making some videos on the experiences. There was some crazy ones. One of them was like Ethereum, buying Ethereum. I bought Ethereum. We bought Ethereum at low prices, like a hold or fold situation. Like buy or cry is what I like to call it. When Ethereum was down, I just recorded a video on it, talking in the midst of things when Ethereum was at its worst, and no one was talking about it as much as they were when it was $3,000. You'll notice in times where things are bad, no one's gonna be talking about things as when they're good, right? Like, I had a big position. Now it's a multiple six-figure position. This is one position. The last, let's say, buy the dip, added big on ETH, about 76 Ethereum when it was like around 1750. So beginning, this is the wrong, it would have been on May 2nd. It would have been on May 2nd that I did this. Position was worth like, at the time, where is it? $133,000, about 76 ETH. A big position. It was like the last buy the dip, one of them. And through that time, it was like some planning beforehand, but just like doing what most won't do. Like you'll notice, like when Ethereum was up here, everyone loved it. Now people are loving it again. Like when it was at like $3,000, $4,000, like everyone was screaming higher, higher, higher. Even I was, right? And then we dumped. But when it comes down to the times where it's here, like it's gonna take experience to go through those ups and downs, to see them happen over time, to know like how to block out the noise and work with conviction. Ethereum's slapping now, doing great. Looks like it's on the way to 3,000. Now everybody's screaming for it to go back to 3,000. So actually on like May 2nd, I forget the exact date. It was after like April 27th. May I think it was May 2nd. That was it. It would have been after April 27th, like all of this. Where was it? When I was talking about ETH, and I even told you guys when I did it in the chat. Yeah, April 27th it would have been, when I was literally like just hinting like possible signs for ETH. Maybe BlackRock buying ETH sparked something for ETH, especially with it being low. This is when it was like at $1,500, $1,600, $1,700. And I was just searching for maybe everything underneath the price action, like trying to, not blocking out the noise, but I've learned how to do that over time. I was saying like, man, like I was just like really trying to point out things, and just, I think the last 2 weeks of April going into May, we were just like talking a lot about Ethereum. If you go back to the last 2 weeks of April going into May, it's pretty much like all I was talking about. I knew like Ethereum upgrade was coming May 7th. Apparently that was a success. And there was just like a lot of like things that we were looking at down in here, like down in here in the blood, right? when it was bad, when things were down, when there was fear, right? Freaking flies back. It's been a while. When there's max fear in the market, right? So there's certain things you got to learn about, like to become like to do a six-figure position. It's not always something we're doing, right? There's phases to act. Like you're not like to do a big play like that. It's not always acting and trying to act like that with that much conviction. There's going to be phases where the market is in a certain phase, right? In a certain sentiment, let's say, right? Where maybe there's extreme fear, maximum fear. And yeah, like the taste in people's mouth is going to be bad. Maybe people aren't going to be as talking about it with as much conviction as they were when prices were higher, when maybe the greed levels or extreme greed levels. So one thing you got to gauge out throughout the year is this, right? We talk a lot about this. And that's like where the market was, right? When it was down here in these levels, like the market was at extreme fear levels. You got to learn how to go through that, experience that. You got to, like, I've been through the last 10, almost 11 years now. We're going to be going on 11 years in a bit. And I've been through the ups and the downs. You want to learn from someone who's been through those things, who can act with conviction at the times where it's like, yo, shit's at the worst. Let's do it. Let's do it. You guys are going to see some recordings even of me, because I've had a camera guy here for the last bit recording some of these situations, some of these plays, when I was making them at the time. And yeah, over time, like you guys might stress out about seeing your portfolio go up and down. Like, you might stress out and have like energy taken away from you seeing your portfolio go up and down a couple $100, a couple $1,000, whatever it is, this and that, maybe a couple thousands, tens of thousands, thousands of dollars. So think about, like, today we had a little bit of a dip, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. Because of that Ethereum buy, that 76 Ethereum buy, I got a good amount of ETH now, you know? Bought 76 at 1700s. That was last buy, stacking more ETH. Weekly is up, but yesterday this thing said plus 250 on the week. Yesterday it said plus 250. Today it's plus 126. Today down 51,000. So sometimes, like, there's composure to hold long term. So sometimes I like to take breaks, let the charts do its thing, let time play out, right? Because when you get to higher levels, when you're dealing with millions of dollars, when you're dealing with multiple 7 figures, close to 8 figures, those swings, they're much more. You're dealing with 6 figures on a daily basis, up or down, both ways, 50K up, 50K down, multiple. That week, for the week, right now the week says plus 126, but when, like, yesterday, or when things were pumping, there was like a good maximum, like yesterday I think it was, Bitcoin was like up here, one of these peaks, it was plus 250 on the week. now it's plus 120. So see, like, so you gotta learn the long game. Like, the long game is key. It's a marathon, not a sprint. More time in the market is gonna teach you much more about the market, right? Especially long term. Like, you need more time. It's not gonna happen overnight. The amount of dips and crashes I've been through to kind of bear through them with, like, rhino skin, right? And you rep the rewards. You learn how to rep the rewards. So it's good. Over time, you become better at things. It's not always perfect. I've taken losses on things, but the biggest losses I've had, start 2021, I was in high school. Oh, you were in high school. Damn. Ask questions. I'm going to go through now. Maybe we'll be on for another 30 minutes. Is it better to wait for a break and retest at the quarter level happens? It is. It's like, if you're looking for continuations, it's better to wait for a break. If price is at like a structure point like this, like a high like this, we don't want to be aggressively bullish here. So we don't want to be like buyers here so much. We would want something to give us like a bicep. So it'd be better for what you said, to answer your question. Yeah, it'd be better, like, if I'm buying, if I'm bullish, it'd be better to wait for a break above. Like, price show me it has more demand to be continuing up, rather than trying to look for the buy so aggressively at a high like this, like a push up like this. Like, if you're looking at like structure, like, see this high and then price pushes up, it's like it's at this point and a higher high, it's not the best place to be buying. If anything, wait for price to come back to a level of demand or previous resistance here, as you can see. And there was maybe a buy here for a bit, but then price broke down, hit the good old this low. Okay. So like at a higher high, like if you look at structure, like here wouldn't have been a smart place, even though it's like, yeah, maybe price can continue. It's like higher highs. As price continues up, it shows more demand. Like price has demand. So if you're bullish, it's better in an instance to wait for like, okay, break, retest, continuation, or even see resistance get created here. Like if price establishes a resistance here, then it breaks, then you have some better motion to work off of, like some resistance being actually here that you can see, break, retest, continuation. So it'd be better in an instance, like depending on where price really is. Like if it's, we can see prices at this like higher high. It's been making higher highs. Every time it makes a higher high, you get like a pretty steep retracement, right? You get a pretty sharp move back on price every time you create like a higher high in structure. So price being higher here, wouldn't want to be so much of a buyer, but could still be like looking for, okay, what's a possible continuation setup would be if it gets above here. Some of you guys, yeah, so any of you guys were trading in COVID times, you might remember or be able to relate to some of the things I'm saying, but I'll tell you, the last couple of months, a lot of ups, downs, a lot of this, that. Bitcoin went down. Sheesh, we already know, for those of you guys that hold Bitcoin or anyone who bought Bitcoin up here for maybe the first time, you got to remember most people come in with the hype. Most people are more convicted to buy something. You can tell someone to buy something for years. Trust me. You can tell a person to buy something at low prices for a year, 2 years. And you can't convict them. They'll convict themselves. And most people convict themselves when they see prices going up. So Ethereum is a good analogy to go over. Think about all the people that bought Bitcoin for the first time up here, right? That averaged in at a higher price, right? Think about all the people that panic sold because of all the tariffs going on. Tariffs was a situation that created a lot of uncertainty in the market. Fast forward months later, and this is when the market was extreme fear. Some of you guys might have been feeling those emotions at the time, right? Maybe energy consuming you from the market, volatility at a different level that you couldn't adapt to, right? These are all things we can talk about. These are all things I can talk about to you guys because 10 years in the game, you go through a lot of ups, downs, and the way I've got here is learning how to hold and bear through a lot of it. Holding through, holding the things I believe in, right? And having strategies towards the things that I believe in, all right? These are the types of conversations I like to talk about. Bitcoin's been above 100K now for over a month. First time we've been above 100K this long. 100K used to be a mythical price. People now, you'll see more people, like you could tell someone for a year straight to buy Bitcoin and then they'll finally make their Coinbase when it hits 100K. They're like, oh my God, I got to buy it. And then panic sellers can come in. Panic sellers are usually what creates extreme fear. Like what happens in these cycles and how fear and extreme fear is created is usually when people are selling off their crypto so much because they're fearful that the market is going to keep going, keep dropping. Now, we like to reverse engineer and think of things differently, as this is a time where, yeah, the market might be seeing a lot of panic, but it's a time where it can present a quiet opportunity. While the panic and the fear is loud, there could be quiet opportunities in there that you got to kind of hunt for. Okay? You'll learn this over time. Like, I'm teaching you guys things that, again, after 10 years, we've done, I've operated in. All right? It's natural to me. You're not going to go to your chart and strategize this overnight. You're not, this is phases, all right? This is some different level talk game here of strategizing on, and we could go hours and hours on this. All right, but there's some briefing for you tonight on where the market's been, where we still are. We're still living in times of uncertainty. No one knows really what's going to happen in the next month, next year, next couple of years. That's why like gold has been still going up. It's still keeping demand. I wouldn't say gold is gonna just collapse or end its uptrend at this point. Like it's been above 3,300 for a while. Holy, this fly, really? I'm gonna get it after this session, guys. It's going down. You heard? So there's no rejection here right now. There was a little bit. If you're looking for continuations, this will be like the only scenario I see. Otherwise, if price comes down, wait for 33.50. What's your question? I was investing in stocks, but I was getting into Forex. And I remember those days. Okay. Yeah, like I started in 2016, so I had years. Like up to COVID, I had years of experience. So when these tariffs hit, it was like something to adapt to. Obviously, it was the volatility, but it was like the conversations I was having was, this is COVID 2020. This is like in March. I could even find texts to like my closest friends, right? Which is like literally like 4, 5 people, like my closest peers. And it was literally like the conversations I was having was, this is COVID. This is like March 2020 again, or in relation to it, something we've experienced. If I had to start again, I would always try to, well, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's something, Bitcoin's, you got to look at what, like, you got to look at your goals. I always tell people, like, what is your goal in Bitcoin? Is your goal to get to one? Because you're not going to get to one Bitcoin overnight, but it might cost you a certain amount to acquire one. How you can get to one Bitcoin faster is obviously starting with some altcoins. It's good to diversify and always try to accumulate Bitcoin, even in small amounts over time. Bitcoin's something you could, not financial advice here, right? But some mindset blueprint around it. Something you could accumulate on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis. You could accumulate at different prices that you see it at. Once a month, you could buy Bitcoin. Twice a month, you could buy Bitcoin. Once a week, right? Maybe split it up, something like that. Some people like to buy it every Monday. You see Michael Saylor's buying it every single Monday, basically, right? So it depends on your aggression, your tolerance, your risk tolerance, how in you want to be in the market, right? All right, so Bitcoin's always something you could accumulate, right? It's obviously has a value to it. It's scarce. There's only going to be 21 million ever in existence. So there is some scarcity to it. And that's why it has a high value price to it. Even at $108,000, the market sentiment has always remained the same. People are calling it expensive at $20,000, at $50,000. So the market sentiment kind of remains the same. When there's a time where it drops like something like this, the market will go through a long winter phase where it gets quiet. People forget about it again, and then it does it all over again, right? A bear market or these corrections, that's where people tend to not accumulate or lack off of it, and the market then gets more expensive. So harder for people to accumulate more, right? Now, like if you have like let's say you have like one Ethereum, right? You have one Ethereum, which is much cheaper than one Bitcoin, right? And you put your money into Ethereum. So you have one ETH, right? And you start with ETH or Solana, let's say. Those are going to move faster than Bitcoin on average in terms of percentage. You could even start with coins like that and then try to acquire Bitcoin slowly, because these coins, they could pump faster. You could get gains on these types of coins, which are like major alternative coins. Get gains on those. Whatever gains you get, put the gains into Bitcoin and try to accumulate Bitcoin. You could always start with literally just one crypto. Like if you had, let's say, a 0.1 of Bitcoin. So a 0.1. So 10% of one Bitcoin. And you wanted to trade with that. It's like that was your Bitcoin holding. I have a 0.1, 10% of a Bitcoin. Let's say I move 10% of that. So point one right now, look at the price of Bitcoin, $108,000. You guys can do the math, right? So a point one of Bitcoin is a decent chunk, right, of money. That's over $10,000, right? So like, that's a good little chunk of change there for a point one. So let's just say a point one was 10K, right? A point one is what it is, the price right now. And I take an 001 and I trade that into another coin. Like, this is why it's the key. I'm going to show you the key in having Bitcoin right here. Let's say I had a 0.1. I take an 001 from my Bitcoin holding and I move that into Solana. I take 001 of Bitcoin. So let's just say I have 0.1 of BTC. I take 001. So now my Bitcoin holding is at 0.9. Whoops. Like, I'm going to have a 0.9 of Bitcoin. Or 0.09. Right? Instead of 10% of a Bitcoin, now I'm down to 9%. Taking 001 from my 0.1, moving into coins like Solana. That 001 flips, I move it back into Bitcoin. Repeat the process time and time again. All you need is 2 coins, really. If you have a good amount of Bitcoin holdings, you can work off of that Bitcoin holdings. Like if I have 001, that could be $1,000. Like right now, over $1,000 right now, right? If I were to take from my 0.1 to my 001, it's gonna be $1,000. I move into Solana. That $1,000 turns into 1,200, turns into 1,300, turns into 1,500, turns into 2,000, whatever it is, or another coin. I can rotate back to Bitcoin. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you guys see what I'm saying here. Someone asked a question. Now, let's do it at a different level. Let's say I had 1 Bitcoin. Let's say I had 1 Bitcoin, right? And I wanted to take 0.1 of a Bitcoin, right? Let's say I had 1 Bitcoin and I had 0.1 of a Bitcoin. I wanted to spread that 0.1 out into 3 coins, or maybe 2 coins, or maybe 1 coin. Depends on my aggression. It depends on my knowledge too, my research, right? Different plays you can make if you think about this, right? If you think about if you had 1 BTC and you took 1% of that. You took 1% of your 1 BTC and you put that into Solana, XRP, this coin, whatever coin, a meme coin. That flips, you rotate that percentage back. That's how you can stack more Bitcoin, right? Let me know if that makes sense. I could, like, this, that was, I'm just quickly answering your question, but hopefully, like, I would, if I was to start over again at these prices, I would be trying to quickly accumulate Bitcoin as fast as I could, as much as I could. That's some good. ICP and WIF are food right now. What do you think? DTR, it's still new. They just started like a buyback, 20%. Go look at the Twitter. Go follow DTR's Twitter. Like, you'll get all the updates and all the news that is going on. 2020, I was holding Bitcoin for a bit. In 2020, looking at Bitcoin. Okay, last September. Any book recommendations? Depends on, like, on what topic. I have some books here. Depends on, like, what you're trying to read. If it's trading stuff, psychological stuff. I like to pick books that kind of have like an interest for me, right? One of the first books I ever read. What was the first book I ever read? It's probably around here somewhere. I have some books here in my condo as well. I think it's on that table. What's gold doing? But after Ethereum's looking nice. ICP and WIF's under $1, no? It went under $1, right? WIF, scoop this. The WIF's looking interesting. WIF's looking interesting. Yeah, WIF back under $1. WIF's, you know, depending on what you're trying to do with that. ICP is good. ICP moved. I talked about ICP at like what, 4 something, under a bit under 5. That pushed up to 6. Still quiet. Like, look how low the coin is. Like, ICP is still, to me, like really low on the chart. That's low. Like, yeah, we had a good pump. I told you guys at like $4.90, $5 about that. That's still, like, when you're looking at it on the monthly, it's still very, very low. It's still there's not as much excitement there yet, but it is accumulating. It looks like it's accumulating down here. Came to $5, dipped below $5, and you could see some sideways price action going on down here around $5 for ICP. So it is low. Like, I could see some accumulation. We had a downtrend here. We could get a pump up back to 10 or maybe even beyond 10 this year. $20 was the highest it hit back in the 2024 pump here, and then it came to $15. $10 could be probably easy for this coin. Yeah, $10 probably easy for this coin. So $15, $20 is like a good target, depending on how long you're trying to hold it. Like, if you know, it's actually been a lot higher than that. Trying to get to like higher prices, it can go beyond that. Yeah, dog whiff hat under $1. That's not bad. Someone mentioned that in the chat. Under $1 is good for dog whiff hat. It's gonna be a good meme coin later on when there's that alt season, meme season that comes. Alt season, someone asked, when does that come? Well, not right now. Bitcoin has dominance right now. We're looking at the Bitcoin dominance. Right now, Bitcoin has a 63% dominance. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Someone asked a question. What was it? When do you think the new alt season will be? All right, good question. I'll get to the books. Maybe I can show you the books. I got some books here that I read. Think and Grow Rich is a good book. Think and Grow Rich is a good book. Read that. Anything by like Mark Douglas books, Trading in the Zone. Bro, literally, look what drip go. Well, if you're looking at greed, it's like if you're trying to sell or average out of something, it's going to be when the hype is at the highest, when things are euphoric. Things don't go down in extreme greed. They go up more. When the market gets greedy, just like fear is caused by more panic sellers. So the reason it gets to fear is because of what's happening. Something's happening to cause fear and to cause the market go down. Obviously, maybe there's headlines, maybe there's news. Okay? Fear is created by people who panic sell even more because they think prices are going to dip. Greed is the opposite. Extreme greed is usually when price starts to even go up more. Like, when you enter extreme greed, prices usually go up more. Just like when you start to enter fear, price usually goes down more. Price doesn't just go up right away in fear. It's a phase. It's a season to start gauging things. Like, it's like start paying attention, start looking for good prices, start looking for good prices to buy at. Extreme greed, when Bitcoin reaches extreme greed or when price reaches extreme greed again, it's going to get euphoric. There's going to be a lot of hype and more people are going to be wanting to get in. If you go study extreme greed, it's a place not necessarily to sell. It's a place where you're going to get euphoric movement in the market. Then it's like, okay, start taking profits when you start getting to that, because as that gets in, more and more people start leveraging higher. Extreme greed takes prices up, right? Extreme greed takes prices up in the market, and it can stay up there just like fear. So usually when you're reaching greed or you're reaching like extreme greed, you can start to go what's known as like a bit parabolic or even have more euphoric tension, because it's usually where the hype is the highest, where you can look to sell, where you can look to average out, start loading off stuff. That's usually a signal, is when you're getting into those extreme greed, like, okay, maybe I should start paying attention to this and sell some, take some profits, because eventually it will correct out of extreme greed. Just like fear, it will correct out of fear. All right, so both cases for both sides. Whiff, yeah, ICP, someone mentioned in the chat. What's whiff? Whiff above 50 cents. 50 cents is gone. Now we're talking about $1. We've been flirting with the dollar. We even managed to go to like almost $1.50. I mean, look for, like I always say, look for good prices. Good prices are like 50 cents. A dollar below $1 is a good price when you're looking at how high this has been. It's been to $4. So I think it's still hot when there's a meme season. So someone asked a question here. An alt season, meme season. That doesn't really come. Like, look at this chart, and you can maybe get maybe see what I'm talking about here yourself. Like, I won't spend so long on this. See this? 63% for Bitcoin. Ethereum is at 9.8%. So what would it take for, yeah, yo, smash the like button. Like everyone likes stream. This man creating and assisting us generational wealth. I'm teaching you guys the plays, right? There's lots to learn. I got there's gonna be lots to learn. Plug in. Plug in. One of these topics, that's why I'm trying to answer every question. I'm trying to get over every question before I get off. All right. It's going to take Ethereum to get to closer to 20%, but Bitcoin dominance coming back to like 50%. So if Bitcoin dominance, and we're actually seeing a rise in Bitcoin dominance. Okay, nice. It's always, I mean, if you're a Bitcoiner, that's always good. Bitcoin season still, from the looks of it. Ethereum dominance and Bitcoin dominance need to kind of diverge. So it's like Ethereum dominance needs to go up, which takes Bitcoin dominance going down, right? If we start to see, and it's coming to like some high levels, like 63%. We could see historically can be looked at as high levels. I mean, it's gonna take like a Bitcoin dominance decrease. Even here, like look at the timestamp here, 12, 20, 2020 down. Bitcoin dominance has been there. You can look at the Bitcoin chart versus every other crypto, and there's obviously a different type of staying power there. If this were to dominance comes back to like 50%, that could take some time, because there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin right now. A lot of institutional demand, company demand, just people in general demand. It'll take dominance to retract, where you get your, let's say, ETH season is when it gets closer to like above, like ETH, like see here, Bitcoin dominance. You need Bitcoin dominance going to the 50s, which is going to take your Ethereum dominance up and your other coins dominance up, which is where your alts and your memes explode. When this happens, this phase, that you can't really estimate and measure how much things will pump. In terms of performance, if you're looking at the top 100, everything will pump. Now, some things will pump more than others when a cycle like that happens, when a phase like that happens. Some of you guys maybe have experienced some of these phases as well, all right? So when it comes down to it, you get that right phase, that time where Ethereum dominance is increasing, or like Ethereum dominance increasing, Bitcoin dominance down, others go up, right? Right now, Ethereum dominance 9%. Now let's kind of look at the little ticker here. You can see here, like Ethereum will increase in dominance, but it's been on a steady down, while Bitcoin's on a steady up. See, Ethereum dominance has been on a steady down, while Bitcoin has been on a steady up. Okay, others way down. Even right now, others are down. Look at others compared to Ethereum. So Ethereum's seeing some light. So Solana's its own chain. Anything on Ethereum, like there might be some coins on the Ethereum chain built on Ethereum that are correlating with that dominance, like picking up with it as well. So You need that Ethereum dominance to kick in, but that's going to take Bitcoin going 50% lower, right? 50 coming back to 50%, retracting back to 50% or lower, really. That's where that will kick in. Right now, this has been on the up. On the up. This is a chart to pay attention to. Alt season. Let's see the alt season index here. Alt season index, yeah. So it's like Bitcoin season versus alt season. Alt season still has to load. Like there's no, it's not, the alt season index. If we could look at this historically, we just like alts have way more way more money than they did before. Look at these. These are your damn Fartcoin, SPX. Wow. Of course, it's the memes. The memes are getting so much hype right now. Sui. Now we're not there yet in terms of dominance. We're not there yet in terms of dominance. Like an alt season could happen if dominance dropped on Bitcoin. You could get explosive movement on other coins, especially if Ethereum dominance went. Like the market could be ready for that. But right now it's still Bitcoin season. It's hard to say. I would say if my lucky feelings of things, like my forecast says like closer towards the end of the year, after summer, after like August, September, after that would be the highest probability of time. But it would take Bitcoin season to kind of implode, which is like Bitcoin dominance falling. Doesn't mean Bitcoin has to be substantially dropping. It just means people like Bitcoin could still be holding. People could be shifting over. Like think about Bitcoin being up. Bitcoin being up, converting into other coins, swapping into other coins. Any new, not new book recommendations. I can give you old ones that you probably already know about. But yeah, I think I kind of just went through the chat a little bit there, saw some things you guys said. Let's check out gold before we get off tonight. So alts, like you got to look for the right alts right now that are accumulating, that have shown also something like, I'll use Chainlink as an example. Like Chainlink is a good example of something I'm going to talk about real quick. It's been to $50. It's not one of those charts that look like this for se that have been up and just it's never been back, but it's gone up. It's gone up. It's gone up. It's shown a willingness to go up, even though it's been around for a long time. Still at $15. It's been to $30. Coins that I think are good long term and that could perform well this year too are charts like this that aren't just like sitting dead down here, Charts that actually showed some demand. Like Chainlink hit $30, so it's gone up. It's gone up. There's been some rallies. I like coins like that, like charts that I can look at. I don't like because you could go to like the top 200 guys or top 100 cryptos, and you'll pretty much like a lot of charts are gonna. Maybe not. A lot of charts are gonna look like this. Right, maybe not as like they've been stagnant. Like maybe this has been what this hit? This hit like $27, so it did pump. Some charts might be dead, like just haven't had as much volume accumulated much. So ICP, for example, charts like this, ICP low, monthly levels, low monthly levels, low yearly all-time levels, kind of here that we've seen some bounces in the past off of. It's pushed up to $20. It's pushed up to 15. So it could go to 10. 10 is probably easy for this coin, but when you look at the charts like this that are accumulating low are good to look for. There's a lot of charts like that in terms of others, right, that obviously are going to be a lot lower compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance 63%. So it's showing us it's still Bitcoin season with this dominance up. Others down a lot, which, I mean, when you can find the right charts that are low, like most charts are pretty low, even though some things have recovered quite a bit. A lot of charts are still significantly low at some of these low levels, like ICP. But yeah, guys, before we get off, we'll look at gold one more time, see what the price action is doing. Here, it's probably stalling around 75 level. So you got to watch the 4 hour tonight. Keep an eye on the 4 hour because it's flirting with this like 75 level. If you get a 4 hour, how long? 3 hours left on this candle. You'll watch this candle. If you're looking for sells, I would wait for the 4 hour to close bearish. Give you rejection here. It looks like it's trying to push up on this 4 hour for now, but there's still some time. So a 4 hour rejection close bearish here could give you potentially sell down. But like I said, this might be trying to, remember I said before, if you're looking for like continuations this high, only like setup I would see is if this really starts to push up and go up. I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes, guys. If the 4 hour closes bearish, like the 4 hour structure, because you could see we're at a higher high. If you get a 4 hour bearish close here, you could potentially look for sells on gold. That's again like there's coins that are like majors, like Bitcoin, Solana, some of like the top 10, top 20 that stand out more. Kasuma is a coin that I have and hold. It's low. It's another one of those that are low. It's an other though. That's like, well, it's one of those other coins. So what I mean by other is it's gonna take that right season of dominance to go down for Bitcoin, Ethereum dominance to go up. For it to have that type of season where you'll get maybe from these prices a move back to the highs, right? So like long term coin like this, I would expect by the end of the year to give you that pump. Like it's at low levels, pretty much like a lot of charts are like this, like ICP. You could see low levels here. This went through quite a time here. Downtrend. Looks like it's accumulating. This could last, this accumulation. Looks like it's trying to accumulate. $10 would be like a really good price. 15 is kind of where it's sitting between 10 and 15, right? Above 10, $15. Those are good prices, right? So when you look at this chart, like it's going to be, this isn't like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, a Solana, but it's going to take like Ethereum dominance going up, or like I just kind of explained for a chart like this to give you that right season. Good news for this type of coin. If a lot of people start buying this coin, if there's good news that they have with the project. It runs on Polkadot. So if Polkadot does really well, this coin will do good. So if Polkadot goes up, this coin will go up. I mean, it runs on Polkadot network, the Polkadot ecosystem, or chain, Polkadot chain. What that's done. And so Kasuma, like, what do I think about it? It's a good coin, but it's again an altcoin that it's at a lower price. It's gonna spend some time here. There's not so much excitement yet. There was a good rally. Like when you look at these percentages that these cryptos move, it's fast. Like this thing did go up 116%. So think about that real quick. Like it's down a lot. There was a pump. You gotta look at some of these percentages the cryptos move, because from here to here, that's a good 113% movement. Anyone who bought that made profit, right? Anyone who had trades there made profit, right? Anyone who has a good DCA strategy made profit. I've been holding this coin for a while. So now it's dropped down from that move. Like it's dropped down like 40% almost. So like it's in a zone where it's rallied off. It's coming back around an area where it rallied up before, like where we're looking at here. Long term, you could see like where this coin's been. Long term, it's been high. So there is potential for it to go back to these prices. Like long term, it has been to some high prices here. I would look at like 50 plus, $60. So I mean, if this coin performs as well as it has, that is potentially like 300% gains there. Maybe even higher. It's been a lot higher than that, like way higher. I'm not calling like price predictions for this coin. Do your research. Go on Twitter, do your research, see what the community is saying, watch videos on it. I have this coin, I hold it. I'll hold it until I see like this. These numbers will eventually change, but for now they'll probably stay like this for a bit. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. That's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go back to recording some videos for the inner circle and uploading some stuff for you guys that are in there. If you're inside my inner circle, check out the videos that have been recently uploaded and the different sections that were added. You'll get a ton of value and different lessons inside of there. Check them out if you haven't seen them yet. Yeah, like you have to watch gold. It's either dump before another pump or wait for break and retest. One of those two. You could try for the, like I said, 4 hour. 4 hour might flip. 4 hour could bring you down to 33.50. If you're looking for sells, keep an eye on the 4 hour and see if the 4 hour rejects. You may be able to get moved down, right? So keep an eye out on one of those two things for gold tonight, maybe going into tomorrow. And I'll be back on tomorrow with an update on the charts to see where things are at. Smash that like button before we get off tonight. That's going to be it, guys. Leave a like. Smash that like button. Inner circle updates will be coming soon. Let you guys know, more updates coming soon. If you're in there, check out the videos that were posted. There's more coming. Yeah, like if you're new into crypto, remember your time is going to be spent. It's like someone said, you have Bitcoin, Ether, Solana. Yeah, like stick with the main stuff for now. Eventually, with time spent in the market, you're gonna learn about other coins. With doing research, you're gonna learn more about other projects. You're gonna see projects when they come up too, like when they get big, when they come up. I remember like Sui. I didn't know what Sui was for a while. It was out. It was out. I found it in September. I didn't know what it was before then. I never heard about it before like September. I bought it in September. I think it went to $5. So it's like, this is a coin that came out in 2023, 2024. I didn't know what it was at all until September, for example. And I bought it in September. I found it, did some research on it, watched some videos. And it shows you like over time, like things can fall in your lap, come your way when you're patient. An example of a coin that's now the number 12 crypto on CoinMarketCap. When I found it, it was a top coin. It was a big coin, and I was like, oh, let me do some research on Sui, right? Did some research, convicted myself, aped into the coin, right? Rode it all the way up. Good project, right? But it's things like that that I didn't even know about. And look how long it was around for. Obviously, if I found it out earlier, maybe would have bought it earlier than that. But, you know, the market will always pay you for your patience and your due diligence, right? Your research. Keep up with the action. That's why it's good to stay on top of things. But I'll see you guys tomorrow with another update. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Smash that like button before we get off, fam. Smash it before we drop the stream here. I can upload some gold charts tonight. I'll put this link in the chat real quick for you guys that are on the stream, just so it's quick. From some of the things we talked about again. Gold, real quick before we get off. 4 hour might see rejection here, so you might get some sells. Could potentially attempt to sells if you get like a good rejection here. There might be a sell setup. Take it down to 33.50. Only other thing I would see, if that doesn't play out, would be break and retest above maybe 33.75. So potentially a move down. Let's see what happens. We'll be on tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your night. See everybody next session. Peace, peace, peace.